So, okay, I'm just gonna just go because there seems to be no way of trying to formulate a beginning without beginning. So, I guess class is in session now. I'm gonna just start with um, Babylon because I always come back to this part of the Bible. Um, from what I understand, um, humanity at this point in time, 1200, around 1200, becoming era. Before Common Era, we were still in a close enough relationship with God. God, Jehovah God, at this time, his name was. Um, and my, his people, his people were tasked with building a really, okay, it started off, see, because in the eyes of God, you cannot imagine the city that Babylon was going to be. Just to put that in perspective. But the foundation was meant to build on into 2000 and on and on. That's where the architecture of Babylon was with God. Okay, so what I have discovered essentially is that um, the whole, because I kept asking. He kept dismissing all these other questions he would answer, but he would just keep putting it off because it was just bullshit. He didn't even want to have to explain it to me. It's like it was just such a dumb thing. Anyways, the whole reason that the Babylon collapsed was because the prophet Daniel was in, like, he had beef with God, basically. But it comes down to it. Okay, I'm gonna have to go through this. So, um, oh, it's deep. Okay, so let's start with the language thing. Babylon at the time probably spoke widely some kind of mixture between like Aramaic, Arabic, and Arabic, and like um Sumerian, but it was like evolved Sumerian, not even like the old, but it was like a further progressed version where it's slang and stuff, whatever that would be called. I don't know. Somebody knows what that's called. Anyway, um, maybe Aramaic. It was a lot going on because Babylon it did get the chance to at least evolve into the point where it became a city. Okay, we're talking about people who are mostly nomadic, trying to settle them. You know, so they settled enough with the help of two other cultures, because I just described the languages that's there to you, and got this far. Okay, they got as far as the Hanging Gardens, and that was lovely. But it was supposed to keep going. Like, that was supposed to be your ecosystem. But he dropped the ball on purpose. It wasn't an accident. So, Daniel was had a chip on his shoulder because he was kidnapped. Okay, so whatever it took for him to be in this position where he was supposed to be this person who was a prophet. A prophet. It's like God chose him, but I guess God just takes people sometimes. I don't know. It might not even be God. See, that's the thing. It's like it's not God. It's like God might just will it toward a certain person, and they go off the rails. Like, well, what if he says no? I'm not gonna give him that option. Just go get him. Whatever. You know what it's like with God. It's like a Rube Goldberg machine. You ever seen one of those machines you push like a little ball and then like a thing falls down and then it sets off something else and then dominoes fall and like that. But you gotta go through somebody who's ambitious enough, and the people who usually are ambitious enough are just a little bit over the top. They're a little overzealous about life in general, so it's kind of like a balance. Anyway, so they took Daniel because Daniel was clearly somebody of import, and he never got over that shit. When God started talking to him a little bit louder, he's like, you know, I brought you here because I knew you'd be the only one to do this. And in the back of Daniel's mind, he's like, this is God I'm talking to, but why you do that though? But like, why? Because I never really got over that. That like changed my whole psyche and everything. It kind of broke me. I had to like, he was hurt about it. But God's like, I need you. I need you. I need you. So can you trust me, please? Just trust me. Everything is gonna be all right. But I need you to do this. But I don't want to do this. This is not what I would have picked for my life. But it's like it's deep down because you don't want God to hear you thinking this. It's a whole nother level. You have to control your thoughts. You don't want God to hear you thinking. So on that level, in his heart, he grew this little grudge. He grew into a big grudge. So, with Daniel, the biggest misunderstanding that happened was when these officiates arrived from Spain with copper. And maybe this is where I'm getting lost because it was a lost in translation. It was literally a lost in translation thing that destroyed it from the foundation, but it's symbolic too because it was like, well, everybody in Babylon wasn't from there, and we know how that feels because people in their countries today with all these immigrants coming in, like we feel entitled to with Mexicans, as Americans. I mean, as I'm not as a whole, because I don't feel that way, but you know what I mean. But and in like Sweden with the Syrian refugees and just people who fled into countries, it's like you feel like there's some national pride to display. Okay, so maybe this is where the separation between church and state, as far as eye to eye seeing, kind of like broke off. Just a thought. Anyways, there was a misunderstanding with some copper. It was some copper that came in from like Spain, and it was like supposed to be copper for building temples and churches and like really shiny, magnificent works. But the grade of copper was too poor to do any of those things with because it was like mineral copper. It had the stones still in it. And when you think about 1200 before Common Era, that people were able to even do this and make things to this level, it's like it would have just technology would have came probably within the next 300 years after that. So this is what I'm saying. Daniel was so caught up in his feelings that when these Spanish people came and they didn't speak the language, and this was the ambassador, he caught a fit about them not speaking the language. And he caught a fit because he was on drugs at the time. And it showed up. He freaked the fuck out and couldn't understand anything because he imploded at that moment, and language ceased to really mean anything to him after that. It was like a pivotal moment. He should have been up at the time. He was. So, so all the stuff that he was holding inside, it like came to a head in that way in chaos. Just that's why everything, like a lot of languages changed at that moment, and it's like that's where it's weird because when it's happening through a person, it's like who can say that other than them and explain how that feels, you know? So he was very powerful, and he had, you're not supposed to hold in your negative emotions when your emotions can go like that. So you gotta find a way to channel that shit, but apparently he never did. And so all these languages kind of breached the floodgates, and it's like it was a combination of them three having that argument with him, because he's like, we came all this way, because they actually, I guess they probably, did they cross from Spain or did they come from somewhere else and then cross from Spain, like far? And you gonna send us back and not pay us for this industrial grade copper? This is so much money. So much money. And you're telling me we have to take it back because this is not FedEx. This is not UPS. This is people on boats made in 1200 CE carrying copper. So, no. No, we're not taking it back. So, listen. You say, oh, well, then it sounds like, the Spanish people were at fault. No, because he couldn't understand what God was screaming in his ear, not knowing how to officiate this situation between, this is like big. This is big. This is big as the city. This is an investment to the future of everything that the city stands on. And he didn't hear that the copper was meant for the pipes. It's meant for the pipes. He only heard these languages that didn't make sense, and then they all started to just kind of spread to people, and everybody got confused, and they didn't understand why they were confused, because Daniel was confused because he was confusing them, but it was because it's like when you trying to mute and just constantly mute, you like when you're trying to mute something or make it just silence it when it doesn't have a sound, it's like you can't fight it. You can't fight it. If you do, you won't be able to make sense of it, and then it's like, then it's chaos. So, that's what happened to Babylon. Comment, like, or subscribe.